Today we're going to talk about pulling film with D-96 developer. Now we're going to talk about two films in particular. We're going to look at CineStill BWXX, Kodak 5222, classic black and white motion picture film. It's been made since the 50s. Very few changes to the film really over its entire lifetime, and it's one of my favorite black and white films. It's been in countless movies that you've seen, from Raging Bull to The Lighthouse to most recently Oppenheimer in IMAX format. It's available in 35 and in 120 through CineStill. And I love this film for when I need a 200 speed or a faster film. I've never really experimented with pulling that film. And we're also going to look at the second film, which is my favorite film, the Ferrania P30. When I want a lower speed film or a film that I just want to be able to pull the heck out of, it's one of my absolute favorite films. Very rarely do I actually ever shoot that film at box speed, and I never push it because it just doesn't do that. It really wants to be really a slower speed material. So why D96? Well, D96 is related to its brother, D-76, but it's different in that it's designed to give you lower contrast negatives. D-76, which came up first, is designed to give you normal contrast negatives. D-96 is designed to give you lower contrast negatives. And you can see the two formulas right here for the developer. They're similar, but if you look at the relationship to hydroquinone and metol in the two developers, you can see that D96 has a lower quantity of those, and it produces just that beautiful, soft, low contrast negative that we're looking for, especially for the hybrid workflow. Again, low contrast film is much easier to scan and work with than high contrast materials in the hybrid workflow. So everything was shot using the test images, my Leica M3 with a 50mm collapsible. And right here, you're starting to see what the test scene looks like. It's a really difficult shot. It's just too damn cold outside to film outside right now. So I did this in my kitchen with the big kitchen window there, and the snow and the ice outside and full sun were around a zone 14, zone 15. And the inside obviously was balanced for a more normal exposure. And we're gonna see just how well that pull development can control those highlights. First, I said, let's shoot both films at box speed. So we have a reference point to how it looks at box speed in D96. And I used CineStill's processing times from their site. I've always found them to be very accurate. And as you can see here, this is the BWXX at 250. 250 is the ISO rating for that film in daylight, 200s in tungsten. And it looks really good. It has that wonderful salt and pepper, classic grain, beautiful contrast, well-controlled highlights. So the highlights don't have a lot of nuance to them outside. It's there, it's not clipped, but it's not as nuanced based as you'll see later in the pull negatives. But it's really great, looks really nice. And D96 was formulated to work with this particular film, so it really is an ideal developer film combination. And then the other image we're going to look at here at box speed is the Ferrania P30. Once again, this was at an ISO of 80, and it's finer grain than the 5222 BWXX. It's obviously a slower speed film. Contrast and everything is really beautiful. Once again, though, the snow and the ice outside, while it's there, it's not as nuanced based as the pulls are that you'll see coming up in just a minute. Take the two images now and put them side by side so you can get a real sense of how the BWXX looks compared to the P30 when they're both at box speed. And I think they both look really great. Once again, though, when I work with BWXX, more often than not, I'm doing box speed or faster. I'm looking for a push. When it comes to the Ferrania P30, I almost never shoot this film at box speed. I never push it because I hate it pushed. I'm almost always pulling the film to very low exposure indexes because that's the way that I like how the film looks the best. So for the pull test, what I decided to do was to use the D96 at stock. So there's two ways that I use D96. First off, I didn't have any of the CineStill D96 in-house. So I did have, though, all of the ingredients to make it myself. So I just mixed up a fresh batch of D96. And the two ways that I use D96 is either at stock or at 1-to-1. 1-to-1 is single use. I use it, you dump it. And that's a little expensive, so I decided to stick with the stock. And on the stock development, the way that I use it, and this is also what CineStill recommends on their packaging, is D96, for every roll you process, you add 20 seconds to the next roll. So if my first roll of film, fresh batch, fresh liter of chemistry is mixed up, is say 5 minutes for an example, the next roll that I would process would be 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And I would keep adding 20 seconds on for every roll that I process. And they say you can do this out to 15, 16 rolls of film. I usually dump it after like 10 or 11 rolls of film. It's not that expensive, and I'd always like to have the best fresh chemistry that I can get. Okay, so for processing time, I came up with 3 minutes at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I know a lot of you are saying 3 minutes is going to produce uneven results. You will see in the test images in a minute, they produced beautiful results. There's no unevenness at all. However, if you try this test with some films, I've only tested these 2 films, and you do get any kind of uneven development, all I would do to fix that is do a pre-wet for a minute and then add 30 or 40 seconds on to whatever time you determine is the best, and that would get rid of it. But with the 5222 BWXX and with the Ferrania P30, the negatives are perfectly clean, no signs of uneven development whatsoever. So I decided to do 3 minutes at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperature really does matter on this because the development time is so short, you've really got to be perfect with it. And I have 2 different agitation cycles that I came up with depending upon the contrast that I'm looking for. So for instance, in the BWXX, which I said box speed is 250. On the first pull that I did it for, it was 264, an EI of 64. And so I agitated that first 30 seconds, like I always do, with 2 inversions every 5 seconds. Then, instead of going 50 seconds and doing 10 seconds every minute like I always do in my other videos that I've outlined here, I decided to do 2 inversions every 30 seconds. Because the development time is so short, by adding that agitation in a little more frequently, I'm ensuring that I'm not going to have uneven development. Standard development process for the D-96 for the pull for me was the first 30 seconds, 2 inversions every 5 seconds, followed by 2 inversions every 30 seconds for the 3 minutes, and then just stop, fix, and perma, and you're done. The other development agitation routine that I came up with when I wanted to do the BWXX at an EI of 25 was to do a little less agitation. So instead of doing 2 inversions every 5 seconds for the first 30, I did 1 inversion every 5 seconds for the first 30. And then I did 1 inversion every 30 seconds for the remainder of time. Once again, I got perfect development out of it. And the contrast and the density came down just a little bit more and made that 25 possible in a way that the other technique, you really wouldn't safely want to go below 64 or 50. You're just going to get too much density at those lower ISOs. So now let's take a look at some of the sampled pulled images that I just mentioned. So the first image that we're seeing now, this is BWXX pulled to an EI of 64, and I think it looks really good. One thing that's really interesting to note is the highlights out the window, that snow, is more nuanced. It's more subtle. The histogram on the pulled film had a gentle highlight fall off, whereas the box speed, it was a straight cliff, straight down. That was true for both films. That was true for the Ferrania P30 as well as the BWXX. The pulled film just had a more nuanced highlight region, and you can see it. The highlights are really beautiful. The grain's a little tighter than it is at box speed, and the overall contrast is gorgeous. Now, I did have to do a little bit of work at EI 64 by adding an S-curve and stuff to bring up the contrast, because it was very low contrast at an EI of 64. And then for the EI of 25, I used my secondary type of agitation technique, which, as I just outlined, was less inversions. And you can see that in an EI of 25, it absolutely looks great. The grain is really fine, the highlight values are really great, but I would tell you I would only pull that film this low if I absolutely had no other way of doing it, because the negative was so low contrast. I had to spend a fair amount of time bringing up micro and local contrast within the image. It was all there. I mean, the pull was fantastic, and you could probably even get a 12 out of it if you needed to, but it is going to be so low of contrast that you are going to spend a fair amount of time trying to bring that contrast back out. So let's now take a look at the Ferrania P30, and this is pulled to an EI of 6. And this film just pulls so beautifully, and you can see how nice it looks. I mean, it's really gorgeous. The grain is really fine grain. The overall rendering and the highlights is lovely, very controlled, very nuanced base, and just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just a really, really smooth, beautiful film. I feel that the Ferrania P30 in the D96 stock using the second agitation technique is safe down below an EI of 1, but 1, 1.7, 3.2, 6, 12, even out to 25 would be totally usable at this particular 3-minute time. Whereas the BWXX, I really think it hits a sweet spot at 64 or 50, 25 or 12 and all that would only be if I really needed it. Then I decided to do one more test with this pull. I wanted to see how the D96 pull compared to the Rodinal 1 to 100 pull test that I've done a lot of videos here recently on Digital. And I'll put a link to all those videos if you're curious, but I decided to use, in this case, my 1939 Minox Riga camera, the original spy camera, which I absolutely love this camera. The negative is 8 by 11 millimeters, so it's literally almost 10 times smaller than a 35 neg, but it has a look and a feeling that's really right for the way that I want to work. And so what I did is I went outside and I found a very nice test scene. It had warmed up a little bit, and I shot one roll of P30. Now, the reason I didn't do this test with the BWXX is I didn't have any more BWXX in-house. So I did have P30 in-house. So I loaded up a roll of P30 and I went outside, and at an EI of 6, I shot the same scene for the whole roll. And it was all at a 100th of a second at f3.5, which is the only f-stop this camera has, and focused at about 6 feet or so, 6, 7 feet, somewhere around there. And so I cut the film in half and processed half the film in the D96 pull that we've just gone through. And then I processed the other half of the film in the Rodinal 1 to 100. And the two images I'm showing you right now side by side, it's really interesting. They're very similar looking until you zoom in. And what you see is what you would expect to see. The Rodinal grain is a little bit more defined, whereas the D96 grain is a little softer. Rodinal is a real honest developer in that it develops the grain really for what the grain is. D96, like D-76, like X-Tull, are all going to do their best to sort of soften the edge of the grain and hide it a little bit. But you really don't notice it until I really zoom into this window in the back. That's when you start to see the additional grain of the Rodinal compared to the D96. But I think they both look super cool, and I would use these developers back and forth depending on what I was doing. If I was doing a portrait of somebody with the Minox, I might use the D96 because it'll be a little smoother, a little rounder. If I was doing the kind of work that I normally make with this camera, I'll probably stick to the Rodinal just because it's easier to work with that stock liquid all the time. D96 as a pull developer, I think it's a wonderful choice. The fact that it's that lower contrast developer really does make it a viable, good option. And it's not a terribly expensive developer to work with. Whether you're mixing it from scratch the way I do or buying pre-made formulas, it's a really great all-around film developer. Thank you very much for listening. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Now go shoot some film.